Welcome to the Crafty Boys, where a trio of cool dudes hang around, drink beer, and talk about bullshit. So that's basically the show. So if you don't like that, doesn't titillate you, we're good. It's fine. You can go somewhere else. So there's the word tit.
Titillate.
So hey boys, how's it going? Oh, I know what I was going to talk about, but I'll wait till we talk about beer. Locke, since you are, of course, on the eastern side of the world, what beer are you drinking this evening?
I am drinking not beer this evening.
What?
I am drinking Gin Slinger Gin because, as you may recall, I was previously saying that we need to talk about more craft spirits on this show.
Sure.
I agree.
So, Gin Slinger, Canadian product.
Nice.
Fresh juniper cold pressed. It's made in Ontario. Locally sourced botanicals. Wild botanicals at that. It's 46% alcohol, so this is a little bit stronger than your usual beer. 12 hand-forged local botanicals are cold-pressed and slowly simmered distilled in a traditional pot still with 10 more seeds, berries, peels, and barks, creating a crisp, juniper-forward gin of great complexity. Every bottle truly captures the spirit of Ontario. And I like how on the back panel they've got this kind of sort of, it's mostly see-through, but die cut so that you can see the juniper.
Cool.
Nice touch. Founded in Oakville in 2009, Maverick Distillery has found success making local products with locally sourced ingredients. Try our tag number 5 vodka, barn burner whiskey, and coolers. We have your cocktails covered. So, I've already opened this, but I will pour some right now and tell you a little bit about its flavor.
Excellent.
Yeah. So the high, slightly above 40 alcohol gives it a bit of bite, which I like.
Okay.
Now, this is a dry gin. It's not... lately, there has been a trend in gins to go for sweeter, fruitier kind of spins, orange zest and, blackberry and infused and that kind of thing. This is pretty herbaceous, but it's very dry.
Okay.
All right.
I would compare it probably more to something like Hendrick's than I would to, say, Bombay Sapphire in terms of its sort of flavor profile.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, straight up, I like that bite that it's got, and it's it's a good sipping gin. But this evening, I think what I will likely do is have a little bit of Fever Tree cucumber tonic water.
Nice. I was going to ask, wouldn't you normally mix this with something?
Gin and tonic. Yeah, that's what I'm having this evening is a gin and tonic. I thought about doing a gin martini. I might still. I have vermouth. What I don't have is an olive.
Does the olive really make a difference?
If you're trying to get a really dry martini, the little bit of salt in the olive, it helps a little bit.
Okay, guys.
Yeah, and so the tonic's got a little bit of sweetness, but like cucumber flavor kind of cools everything out a little bit. Which on a reasonably hot September night in Toronto is just the thing. What are you gentlemen drinking?
Well, funny that you're drinking gin because tonight we are drinking a Pilsner from Fuggles, formerly known as Fuggles and Warlock, called Gin and Lime.
Ooh.
So it is a 5.3% alcohol by volume beer. There is no story on the can, so I can't tell you too much about it, except that it does have real gin in it, apparently, and lime extract, which I'm not sure what that is, but
Now, I will say, full disclosure, I have had this before. I love it. But we'll see what Shane
Oh,
brings.
wow. Effervescent.
Yeah,
as all
it's
hell.
very
Holy
effervescent.
Shit. That is a glass of just foam.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, I will pour this one gently over the next moment or two. Because apparently, Alan, you tell us all about the beer because I just have foam right now.
It's a Pilsner. And it's got, I don't know if it's aged in gin barrels or what. Like, how do they get? It just says it's got gin.
Maybe it's just.
I mean, maybe they added gin to it.
They excuse me, according to the ingredients. Holy fuck! According to the ingredients, it does have real gin in it. So there you go.
So it's not aged in like
Oh shit!
gin anything. It's just got gin.
Like, there's part of me that I feel like I probably shouldn't, but for some reason, there's part of me that's harboring a doubt that gin is stored in oak barrels. Is it?
I don't know. Actually, I have no idea.
I would imagine.
I know literally nothing about
an oaky flavor to the gin, and I've never encountered such.
Yeah, no, I would guess it wouldn't be.
Well, okay. Well, here we go. According to the AI of the universe, known as Google, gin is made by distilling a neutral-based spirit, such as vodka, with juniper berries and other botanicals, such as herbs, spices, and fruits, a process that infuses the spirit with their flavors. The resulting spirit is then diluted with water to reach the desired alcohol content and is then bottled.
So it's aged in the bottle, or I guess it's.
But it does not seem to have any aging.
Right. So it's just
all.
Bottled onto the shelf.
Yeah. That would make
apparently gin is generally on a commercial scale is aged in wooden casks. Or can be. However, it looks like generally it is not stored that way. It is aged very slightly. But again, it's one of those alcohols that just kind of comes out and you drink it. So I'm sure that there are many different companies that do it all kinds of ways, including using casks and things like that. So at the end of the day, it is looking like primarily it is aged for a short period of time and then bottled. I've been drinking foam so far.
Is it good foam?
The foam is tasty. Oh, wow. You're right, Alan. Oh, yeah.
It's a good beer. I really like it.
So
I am.
How would you describe the flavor as compared to other Pilsners?
This one is much stronger. Like, not stronger in alcohol flavor. I'm talking about in flavor in general. Like, there are many alcohols we've tried, but this particular one, in terms of Pilsners, like, I remember that beer that we had ages ago, that was, the hell was it called? It was called... it was that one, that really awful one that we hated. The cucumber. Remember that summer cucumber one?
Killer cucumber from Steamworks.
It was horrible, but it was horrible because it lacked any flavor, and the flavor that this beer has, which is I think that the cucumber one was a Pilsner. If I remember correctly, I could be wrong.
But actually, no, it was an ale.
Was it an ale?
But they still put it out every year.
Do they really?
Yeah, they do. Steamworks.
Oh,
it was out. It's out right now, I think.
I wonder if on a future show we should get some and try it again and see if we have any different reaction to it, or if it's still not
I'm game.
the greatest. So I think that because we did that for one beer not that long ago, and it was, we shit on it pretty heavily because it was pretty bad. But then we had it again later on, and we were like, okay, I can see why it is bad. Maybe they changed the formula, maybe they did something to it, but essentially it somewhat redeemed itself, at least a little bit.
I'll say this to that point. This beer, although I've had it before, it's been a couple of years. It does taste a little bit different to me.
Well, I suspect, we've talked about this before, about the consistency of beers like Miller Genuine Draft and Canadian. And from what I understand, the practice that commercial breweries do is that they have a beer that essentially they perfect to their standards, whatever those standards are. And then once they've done that, they do have like a control, and which basically is a batch that tastes and is exactly what the product is. And if they have a brew that doesn't quite match that standard, they will actively mix it with the one that does. So there is kind of, it makes total sense to me. If you want to have something as consistent as possible over a long period of time,
especially a big company like that.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, they're the only companies that really could do that. I suspect that as long as the formula is solid, I think that it's probably going to only screw up if there's some sort of crazy sideways thing or whatever.
The only thing that could screw up a brew that has that's that formulaic, it would be environmental.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly true. But overall, I want to jump into this thing that I want to ask Locke about, or actually not ask Locke, tell Locke, because I'm sure you're aware that last night the latest Downton Abbey film, or the final Downton Abbey film, dropped, which is called what is it called? It's called The Last. Hang on, I'll look it up.
The last Downton Abbey movie.
It's called The Grand Finale.
The Grand Finale. I like that. Sounds appropriate. It
takes place a couple of years after the previous one, and which came out in 2022, I think. But yeah, it's so there you go. So
is that released at the Toronto International?
I believe so. Yeah, it actually opened. I believe it opened there. Yeah. So but anyway, so it's I just thought I'd mention it because it is something that I've enjoyed, and I know that you enjoy it. And I think that it is something that I might actually nip out to the theater tomorrow to go check it out. Because I'd like to see it in the big theater. But overall, I got to say that it is a sad day. Julian, who's not watching right now, he commented that the one of the founding members of Supertramp passed away.
What?
Just the other day.
Oh.
Hang on. I'll tell you exactly who it is when I get to Supertramp.
I'm not exactly a Supertramp super fan, but I
Rick Davies.
Rick
Davies.
I'm struggling to name a song by Supertramp. Do we know any?
Well, the Logical song.
The what song?
The Logical song.
Never heard of it.
I'm sure you have. I would be shocked if you've never heard it.
What does it sound like?
Sounds like Supertramp's The Logical song.
Well played.
Can you sing?
I'm not singing it for.
Can you say the chorus?
I'm getting to it in my head.
Oh, okay. I was wondering what you were doing. You're like making noise at some point.
Well, there isn't actually really a chorus. It's more like sort of like humming is the chorus. Is it? But some other songs, take the long way home. Take the long way.
Oh Lord, yeah, that's yeah. So they're responsible for that.
For that, they're the ones responsible.
Yeah, they also did Fool's Overture, School,
okay,
Crime of the Century.
Have to pour
Again, I'm not a super fan, but I was appreciative of some of their music.
Yeah.
No.
Shane still haven't. I finally got mine all poured.
Oh my god! I'm all wet now. God damn it.
So who was it that died?
Rick Davies, the singer.
Oh.
He passed away. One of the singers. Yeah. So he basically, according to Wikipedia, he wrote a bulk of the songs.
Okay.
And unfortunately, he was diagnosed with multiple myeloma back in 2015, and it got him a few days ago. Granted, he was 81 years old, so
okay.
So it wasn't like he was that young.
Wow, he had a good run.
Yeah. But wasn't their main singer, like, I can't remember what his name was. I think it was Roger Hodgson or something.
Roger Hodgson, yes. He was the writer from 1983 onward.
Oh, okay.
Supertramp was established in 1970. So,
yeah.
So here I will raise a glass to Rick Davies, one of the founding members of Supertramp.
And Locke, I highly recommend checking out their catalog, even if you didn't like
Breakfast in America was the end of their creative period, in my view, and when Roger Hodgson left the group.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'd agree with that.
Hey, Morris is here. How's it going, man? Happy Saturday. Gentleman Worms, is always good to see you. I'm so glad you're around, man. Thanks for coming by.
Hello.
And I think he just stroked partway through that one. So yeah, I mean, Long Way Home, Goodbye Stranger.
Crime of the Century is a great album. It is.
Okay. I'm waiting for here. Crime of the Century is their masterpiece. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Fool's Overture is also very good. From what was the name of that album? Julian will know.
Sorry, which ones?
It's the album that has Fool's Overture on it. It's a picture of a grand piano with snow on it.
Grand piano was Even in the Quietest Moments, the fifth album by the band.
That's not a bad album. Crime of the Century, though, is their best.
Okay, I will check it out.
Although, the album that I had was Breakfast in America. That was like the one and only album that I know I had, because I just looked it up and I'm like, oh yeah, that's the album cover that I remember. Wow, that's ages ago. 1979. Good Lord. But overall, I got to say that it sucks when people die. So,
Yeah.
What else can you say? Well, we've all been there.
I don't know if it sucks when everybody dies, but
you remember a number of years ago, there was a period where there was like a documentary and a lot of people talking about it online anyway, about what if everyone vanished tomorrow, kind of thing. Like what would happen to the world?
Yeah,
and
there's a series. World Without People.
Right, that's the one. So, and I recall that basically, with the exception of things like the pyramids and whatnot, that our society basically would vanish, or any evidence of our society would vanish within like what 300 years or something.
Yeah.
Because all of the construction that we've made since modern time.
Which, if you've read any Graham Hancock, is sort of a significant point, because you got to remember of ancient human doings, not much that we would call evidence of high technology or a sophisticated society. It's the sophisticated stuff and the high stuff that tends not to survive. More importantly, those are very much the kinds of things that will be made out of materials like gold or other significant metals, which are most likely to be repurposed because of the scarcity of the material, right? So if there were a society that had reached where we have done now 50,000 years ago, would we expect to have a lot of evidence about that? Where would we find it? What would
I think like? Terrestrially, no. I think our space junk will still be there.
Well,
the space junk, especially, yeah. Okay. Well, but if you're talking about 50,000 years from now,
well, maybe not.
Roughly, our construction methods that we use, like steel and concrete and whatnot, for a bulk of what we build, in a modern sense, would definitely be gone. It wouldn't last that long. However, the one thing that I think that people don't talk about a lot is geologic time, is that we will still run into the next ice age. Like, regardless of what, because the one thing that people talk about all the time is, oh my God, save the whales, save this, save that, whatever. We're heating up the planet. Yes,
save the humans.
There's more of us here, so of course the planet's going to heat up, and it's going to include the stuff that we do, blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, with maybe a push of a few thousand years, maybe we're still going to suddenly be under ice, right? So all of the stuff that we talk about, we have all of this, there'll be 3-4 kilometers of ice above the land. Yeah, that's going to happen again eventually. So, we need to, I mean, for us here in the room, it's not going to matter. But for people in the future, if our species survives the next 50,000 years, they're going to have to figure out some pretty decent ways to survive, because there's no way, no matter what level of technology that we ever create or get to, we're not going to be able to move the orbit of our planet. Like the orbit, the tilt, all of that stuff that plays into all of into the ice ages, the cycle of ice ages, it's going to happen. So suddenly, my whole point of this,
here's another random thought. Our model of our orbit is stable. Doesn't mean just because our model's stable that the orbit is actually stable. There could be changes through time. I mean, what happens when you get some other body traveling at a speed beyond what, the rotation of our galaxy? There's something like a comet that is enough to say maybe just shift the very large moon that we have in terms of its orbital pattern.
No, wouldn't happen.
No.
It would have to be an exceptionally large object, and it would have to counteract the gravitational pull caused by that object would have to be greater than the sum of the gravitational pull of the sun, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune.
Yeah, it would have to be a black hole just wandering around.
Yeah.
I'm not saying with it way out of whack, but look, we're talking about, our moon moves our oceans.
Yeah.
Right. What I'm saying is, are there things out there? And I use the comet mostly because of the nature that it it's the sort of thing that might move at a velocity that's different than everything else, right? And so just on the basis of that, the fact that it's doing that is actually sort of interesting when you consider. Now, I don't know if that's the release of gases that are oxidizing or through exposure to radiation. I mean, I don't know why comets do what they do. I know they cast off stuff, but evidently they've got a velocity that makes them somewhat exempt from the forces that keep us more regular. And I guess what I'm saying is it's more or less regular. And I don't know what triggers an irregularity, but I think it would be foolish to suppose that no such could exist.
A gravity well.
You know, the truth is the moon is actually moving away from the Earth a little bit every year.
Okay.
And I think it moves about 30 centimeters a year further away. I could be remembering that wrong. But so, I mean, eventually it'll move so far away that it escapes our gravity. But I mean, by the time that happens, humanity is going to be long gone.
The moon is gradually moving away from the Earth at a rate of about 3.8 centimeters per year.
3.8, okay.
In a process called lunar recession. This is caused by the tidal bulge on the Earth created by the moon's gravity, which drags slightly ahead of the moon due to the Earth's rotation, which then transfers the rotational energy from the Earth to the moon, pushing it into a higher orbit, making days longer on Earth.
Yes.
And it will take... while this drift has been happening for billions of years, the moon will leave our orbit well over 1 billion years from now.
Yes.
So
humanity will be long gone by then.
Yeah, and that's actually kind of the biggest... Jesus, Julian. Save the gay whales. But, I mean, the big thing that... I sympathize and I appreciate and I'm fully on board with people who want to save this or save that, because yes, that if human beings impact that thing that we need to save, then we should do it. It's our moral obligation to do it. However, if we also save the gay whales, eventually those whales will die because geologically we're fucked anyway. Because eventually, and what is it?
To the extent that we are constituent members of the Earth's crust,
yes,
the subject of our fate is probably tied to that somehow.
Exactly.
And we could go into space and travel through wormholes. Fuck, I don't know. Maybe not.
One would hope.
One hopes.
But I think the big thing though is that that I remember reading a number of years ago, which, by the way, just as a very quick aside, that series, Earth, Life After People, dropped in January of 2008 and ran until March of 2010. But on July 14th of this year, there's a new season.
Oh, really?
So there you go. I didn't even know that, but July 14th dropped 7 new episodes regarding Life After People. But anyway, but the thing I was going to say is that geologically, life on the surface of our planet only has about roughly 600 million-ish years, because the thing that I read was, because I was looking up something and forgotten why, but of course, how much time, when is the sun going to expand large enough where it eats our planet because of the because it will grow. And then but the article that I found was, well, yeah, that's like several billion years away. However, it still is growing, but even before it gets to our orbit, we're not going to be sitting there going, "Oh shit!" They're like, no, like 600 million years from now, roughly, our entire atmosphere is going to be blasted off our planet. We're going to be boiled alive. The oceans will vanish, and we'll be just another Mars, where everything is toast. The surface is unlivable, and we'll of course have buried ourselves underground probably at that point if we're still around, and we'll then launch the fucking Yamato into space and take over another planet. But yeah, we have like not even a billion years left of survivability on the surface. So.
Damn it! I better check my insurance.
Yeah, I know, totally, huh? But of course, we're gonna have so many ice ages since then, many, because the ice ages are what, every,
and not to mention like
70,000 years
hitting or comets hitting the Earth. Mm-hmm. Like, how many times does that happen?
Not that often, but it does happen.
I mean, surprisingly often, actually. I mean, maybe not like every day, but
every day there's like how much material lands on the planet?
Like there's an extinction level event that happens every so many 100,000 years.
Yeah, I mean that's why we have like epochs and whatever, like
excuse me.
Yeah, there you go. From the Pleistocene to the I mean I don't know.
Apparently,
I don't know that they're. I think they're measured a little bit like. I don't think ages are measured in consistent stretches. I think they look for.
No, they are not
Evidence to provide. The notion of
that don't happen like
of a cohort of life that existed for a period of time, bookmarked, bookended by extinction level events.
What I'm saying is that although the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs is the most famous, there have been others since.
Well, do you know about the Dürer, like Albrecht Dürer print, which shows the seven? I can't remember how Dürer describes them, but you can see it in the picture. They're just so they look like comets, and. Again, back to Hancock and his theory about the Upper Dryas in terms of periods of history. That there seems to have been an event where something hit the planet, and there was somebody to recollect that dimly and pass it on through oral and other traditions, such that it reached. The Albrecht Dürer in the 17th century, right? Or was he 16th century? I think he was maybe 16th century. I should know that.
Damn historians. I don't know. I guess that that we have a lot to learn.
Well,
no response whatsoever.
I mean, I guess so. But I mean, let's put it this way. I mean, we know more about, like, if we're talking about comets and asteroids and near-Earth objects that could potentially threaten us, we know more now than we have ever known in history. And yet, still, we are finding out about objects days before they come near us. Like, if we're going to prevent some sort of a catastrophic event, we need to know years in advance, not a few days, not a few months.
Well, actually, you know what?
Well, years is probably thin as well. Like if you think about the amount of time it takes any municipality to complete a civic, infrastructure project. Yeah, we're talking decades.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I saw this.
This is timely that we're chatting about this because this happened a few days back. Where but it was roughly a year ago that the Perseverance rover took these photographs, and then they've spent the last year trying to figure out, whether or not it's life or not, or evidence of past life. So I found it I've been kind of watching this information very, very sort of quietly, because it seems like it's a cool thing. I mean, but at the end of the day, I kind of don't. I mean, why are we surprised? Of course, life exists elsewhere. We just haven't found it yet. I'm sure that there's some stuff going on elsewhere. And Alan's microphone has apparently set itself on fire.
No, I was muting it because I was talking to a kid.
Oh, get out of here, kid. But again, I've been reading some of these articles that they're written very much in the, we finally found life. We're not the only ones around. I'm like, well, of course we're not. Like, there's,
well, Shane, there's a difference between what is a very likely and plausible theory and something that there is evidence for. It's the difference between the standard. Well, yeah.
Well, we always have you.
It's the difference between the legal standard of evidence for civil and criminal procedure. There's on the balance of probabilities, yeah, of course there's life. Beyond a reasonable doubt.
That's a good way to approach it.
Beyond a reasonable doubt, we just I think past that threshold is I think what they're saying.
Exactly. And I think because I was talking or not talking, I was reading probably 2 weeks ago an article about and the reason it caught my eye is that the title was something like, "Why the hell are we going to Mars anyway?" And the argument that the person, the writer, was making was that, why are we focused so solely on Mars and the moon, places that are really inhospitable to human life? Why aren't we thinking about technologies to get us to Titan? Now, Titan being, of course, a moon, and is probably the most, according to what I've read so many times,
we think there's water there, which we would need likely in order to thrive.
Exactly, which these other places don't have that. Now, granted, I think it's the intention of NASA to go to the pole on the moon, but that's also the same sort of idea they want to do on Mars. No,
I think it's a case of baby steps. You can't expect to get to Titan until you get to Mars first.
And this is actually the strongest argument for creation, as opposed to a truly blind evolution that started here that led to us, or like creation and or a seeding of the planet. The strongest argument, the strongest plausible argument for it. And when I've thought about it a lot, it bothers me because it's the sort of thing that genuinely does keep me up at night. Because I mean, if you were going to seed a planet so that life could occur, you would need such that it would be not a waste of time, unless you were just popping by again to harvest them, which is a possibility. Sure. We all have seen bee. But supposing that the idea was you were seeding this with life so that it would eventually go out into space, what you would require is a couple of things. Aside from liquid water or some other medium in which life can work. It's the only one that we know about. I mean, I don't know, maybe there's others. I don't know. But supposing liquid water is a requirement, and supposing the interaction with stuff is what makes the dynamism that life is involved with, you would need a stirring device.
Well,
and the moon does that. The second thing that it does is what you have available is a proximate as compared to just having to go to a completely other planet. What you have is a proximate target that's achievable by emergent life. You see what I mean?
Well, I think what would help is if we actually take a look at the photograph that NASA posted.
How likely would it be for any species? I mean, first of all, to evolve in the first place. Second of all, to have the impetus to actually attempt to go out of its own atmosphere, off the crust of the planet. Why would the crust of a planet decide to leave the crust of a planet on purpose, thinking, unless there was something proximate to climb onto, if you see what I mean? All of it's so, it's elegantly convenient, and maybe it's dumb luck. It might very well be dumb luck.
That's my thinking. It's dumb luck.
I think a lot of it is dumb luck.
Sure. But and to be fair, on the balance of probabilities, I'm on the view that that's probably what happened. But on the other hand,
exactly.
On the other hand, to the degree that life exists in other places, and to the degree that life intends to spread itself, how would it do that except by the process that I just described?
Well, I mean, if we take a look at the photograph that NASA is sending around, I think it's important if we take a really good look at it and kind of evaluate. So you can see here that the life looks really mean. It looks terrifying and really gooey. So I just think that. I that's the first thing that came to mind, by the way, when I saw they're like pointing out these things they're calling like poppy seeds or whatever. And the first thing I thought was like, eventually we're gonna land on that on Mars, and that's gonna happen. Just something out of nowhere. Suddenly we're mutating into like vicious creatures to turn into head spiders or whatever you want to call them.
When was the last time either of you watched Ghosts of Mars?
I've never seen Ghosts of Mars.
Really?
No, never seen it.
I mean, look, it's not. I'm not saying it's his masterpiece, but it's quality viewing. It's John Carpenter.
Oh my lord,
Is it John Carpenter?
It's John Carpenter. It has Jason Statham and Ice Cube.
What?
Pam Grier? I'm in.
So here's what you got to understand about this film. So Carpenter, part of his directing style has always been based on what he grew up on and what he loves most, which are Westerns. And Dusters became unfashionable when you could get canceled for, calling somebody an Indian as opposed to a Native American. No, sorry, a indigenous, whatever, right? Like, and so there's this huge sensitivity, particularly in California. So they don't want to touch the genre, and so the result is there are all these indigenous, Native American, whatever the fuck you want to call them, Indian communities all over the fucking states that used to have a regular income from making Westerns because that's what they did. And so they're all fucking out of work because it's politically incorrect to call them Indians. And so what John Carpenter did is he went and talked to a tribe that used to do this. And he was like, look, I want to make a film that's sort of like a Western. And we obviously won't call it that. We'll call it something else. They're Martians. They're Martians. They're fucking ghost Martians is what they are. But But what he did is he gave them all jobs, and made a fucking very cool film.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to check this film out. I of course know of it. I never saw it. It wasn't really my thing. But if it's John Carpenter, I didn't actually realize that. If that's the
soundtrack is John Carpenter collaborating with the band Anthrax.
Oh,
holy shit!
Joey Belladonna, pretty Native American, yeah.
How old is this movie?
2001.
2000. Oh, okay. So,
by the way,
like yesterday.
Yeah, pretty much. By the way, I just Googled it, searched for it on YouTube to kind of see, the trailer and stuff like that. But the second hit is the actual film. Someone uploaded it to YouTube more than 5 years ago. It's had 72,000 views.
That's it?
Yeah, you can watch it for free. Because apparently it's not streaming anywhere at the moment.
Okay.
Except on Crackle, I think it was, or Tubular, or whatever the hell it's called. Crunchyroll, that's where it is. Crunchyroll is one of those ones you pay and then you only see like one ad or something per movie or show or whatever. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly how it works.
I like Tubi myself.
Tubi, same sort of idea, but apparently it's not there. But again, who knows?
But what they do have on Tubi is like a shit ton of like old TV shows, like from the 60s and 70s. They have like the original Our Gang shorts.
Really?
Oh yeah. Gilligan's Island is on there. The only thing that I can't find on streaming, and it's unfortunate, is the Dukes of Hazzard.
Really?
Not that it's great viewing by any stretch, but
Uncle Jesse was always pretty entertaining, and I love the way they would slide across the hood of the car.
You see one episode, you've seen them all.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
When I was a little kid, I went to a car show where
you can get seasons 1 through 4 for free on YouTube.
Where?
The Dukes of Hazzard.
Really?
Yeah. When I was a little kid, I went to a car show where the guy who played, I think Enos, was there.
Yeah. Oh, I think
he just died.
No way.
Well, the guy that played
Johnny
Enos
Schroeder?
passed away not too long ago.
Oh.
Like sometime earlier this year. I did one of those things where I was on like IMDb looking something up, and it had that thing of people we've lost in 2025, and Enos was one of them.
Are you sure? No.
Wait a second. Hang on.
It was Cletus who died.
Cletus. Hang on, I gotta look it up. Cletus
was the second dude, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
No,
Cletus
Enos
died.
is
You're right.
still alive.
Cletus died. You're right. Cletus still. Yeah.
This is how rumors get started, guys. Come on.
Well, the best Duke boys were Coy and Luke. I mean, come on. Or sorry, Coy and
I think
it's very important to separate your anus from your clitoris.
Vance died. Like several.
Vance
years
died?
ago. Yeah,
What?
he died several years ago.
Really?
Cancer.
Because they were like, oh wow, yeah. Here we go. Vance on the Dukes of Hazzard wiki. Vance Duke, played by some dude, Christopher Mayer.
Yes.
Oh, he died in 2011. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad. That's terrible.
I mean, I didn't like Coy and Vance.
Nah, neither did I really. But I just knew they existed.
As characters, I'm sure as actors they were awesome people. But as characters, when I was however old I was, like 12, I didn't like them.
I found the introduction of two characters to replace two characters a bit artificial, even as a little kid.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. But let's be clear, and the producers of the Dukes of Hazzard understood this. The real star of the show was the General Lee, the car.
Fair point.
True.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's legitimate. I mean, it was.
To this day, you know, I prefer seeing the General Lee.
Yeah, I mean, well, look, I don't know that there's really. Yeah, it was pretty much a show about a car.
Much like Knight Rider was
a car with doors that didn't open.
Yeah,
with a Dixie flag on it.
was a show about a helicopter.
Yeah, I think that's legitimate.
Blue Thunder was a show about a helicopter.
Yeah, Blue Thunder was a show about a helicopter. You're right.
Automan was a show about a car.
That was a thing in the late '80s. They were
mid '80s.
Yeah. All the way
the
through
whole
to
'80s. All of the '80s.
All of the '80s.
Yeah.
What? When did Blue Thunder and what was the other show?
Airwolf.
The helicopter. Airwolf. When did those start?
So I remember I was in grade 7. So that would put me in, that would be like 85, maybe 84.
Huh.
That sounds right to me. It would have been about the same time that it would have been about contemporary with Murder, She Wrote.
Maybe. I don't know. It's not a show I really
PI, Riptide.
Oh, Riptide was.
I loved Riptide.
Oh, I loved Riptide as well. I gotta say, Riptide was, I guess probably about the same time, maybe a bit before.
Yeah.
Riptide was 3 seasons, 58 episodes, from 1984
to 1986. In that show, the helicopter was not the main character.
No. Nor was it in Magnum PI, although TC was evidently a main character. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, you're right.
Oh,
in Airwolf and Blue Thunder and Dukes of Hazzard and
Knight Rider.
Even
the A-Team.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Now, how much of that impetus was about selling plastic toys?
I would say the bulk of television programs back during that day, before that law got passed in the States, because you had a run of like Masters of the Universe. You had Captain Power, which was that show where you bought toys that had like somehow was able to get triggered off the TV where you would shoot particular zones. Remember that?
That was a weird example of technological dead ends.
Yeah,
that
like
were really
even the Transformers,
forward.
all those shows. It was all about hooking people into wanting to buy toys, or hooking kids to get their parents to buy them toys.
I don't think I agree with you to an extent, but like A-Team, Knight Rider, and all them, no.
Oh well, those shows, the prime time shows, not so much, but definitely the afternoon, early morning, like those shows. But they still, the other shows follow the very similar pattern where you could buy, especially when Dukes of Hazzard became that animated series for a very brief period of time.
But tell me that in Boris's upper room, you cannot easily imagine a Blue Thunder helicopter, an Airwolf helicopter, a Dukes of Hazzard, generally a Knight Rider kit. Like all of those
Yeah.
could easily be action figure sellable today, right?
Well, exactly.
Right.
Action
And they were,
figures.
actually.
But here's the Blue Thunder. I remember being an amazing thing. Back when I was much younger, and then I saw it again. I don't know.
Because frankly, every police department needs an Apache helicopter, right?
Well, of course. And it was really bad. And actually, I did read something about the stunt coordinator for that film, who was dealing with the helicopter and people on the ground. And there were some shots apparently where the helicopter passed very close to people on the ground. And of course, this is back in the day where, safety was paramount, but not, but technology didn't really kind of catch up to
Paramount,
how
but not
safe
paramount.
you wanted to be.
You look at
Exactly.
Paramount for its day.
Paramount for its day is actually a really good
Paramount at a time when leaded
Paramount Light.
But I'll tell you this one thing about Blue Thunder, because I read this a while ago, a number of years ago.
Are we talking about the film or the TV show?
Both.
Oh,
But it's being remade.
Oh, of course it is.
Apparently, the last news that hit anything was like 2018. Because then, of course, we had COVID at some point. So, but apparently, it's still in the works to be remade with drones specifically. It has a drone focus. So
yeah. That sucks.
Yeah. So who knows? I suppose the helicopter's now a drone. Or
that sucks. Did you know that in the was it the TV show or the movie? It was Dana Carvey that was in it.
Really?
What?
Yeah, Dana Carvey. So there was two in Blue Thunder. There was the pilot, which was Roy Scheider, and the guy in the back. And I can't remember the guy in the back in the TV series or in the movie was Dana Carvey.
He appeared in the music video for the song Lucky in 1985. He also appeared in the short-lived film-based action television series Blue Thunder.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What? I had no idea.
Yeah. And I mean, the big stars in that were like Bubba Smith and Dick Butkus. But I got to say that Blue Thunder was extremely underrated at its time, like the TV series. And I think it should have lasted longer than it did.
Look, I remember watching it. I know I enjoyed it. But then again, I also enjoyed.
Wow, he's so young.
I know.
1984. I remember Bubba Smith.
Yeah, I mean, I also enjoyed Sledgehammer, so there you go.
I do not remember Carvey being in that at all. Holy shazbutt.
Oh,
Well, let's be realistic. It was Dana Carvey before he became Dana Carvey.
It's Dana Carvey before Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, this is like
he would have been on Saturday Night Live until like 1986, I think.
God, that is. I had no
idea. So if Blue Thunder had been successful and he stayed on it, there would have been no Church Lady, no Garth from Wayne's World, no whatever else he did, because he did a lot of shit.
Wow.
No, am I turtly enough for the Turtle Club?
That is, oh my Lord. Because I do vaguely remember watching the TV show back in the day.
I watched
it
religiously.
But it's been a long time, obviously, but still. But I remember liking the film. I did not actually look that up. So apparently the show lasted 11 episodes.
Yeah.
From January 6th to April 16th of 1984, when I was 11. No, I wasn't even 11. I was still 10 at that time. Wow.
Yeah.
We're old, man. That's how it is.
Can I ask you guys a question? Because actually, I was thinking about this earlier.
No questions.
No questions. Talk to my lawyer.
Questions. This interview's over. So Star Trek: Strange New Worlds season 3 just ended. It was 10 episodes. Waited like a year and a half for the season, and I was kind of thinking, it's like, remember when there was a time when a television season started in September and ran until like May, and there was 26 episodes? Granted, now with a 10 episode season that you had to wait a year and a half for, the production values are increased substantially from what we experienced way back when. What do you prefer? Do you prefer quality or quantity?
Depends. It depends. Look, in terms of what television do I generally tend to watch, I'm more of a BBC guy than I am, like any of the American networks. So the fact is, they tend to do. They don't call it a season; they call it a series,
right.
and it tends to be something between 3 and 8. You know what I mean? So even more compressed than what we're doing.
BBC has been doing that for decades.
Yeah, and that's their format.
Yeah.
That said, there's something kind of amazing about the last show that really accomplished that kind of regularity, where they were pumping out like a 22, maybe 24 episode season yearly on the regular, like planned and executed and done, and not speculating on whether audience involvement was really there, and and just keeping going season after season. I kind of feel like Castle was sort of the last of that breed. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it was sort of Murder, She Wrote with Nathan Fillion is so.
I mean, I suppose network TV still operates that way. I'm just talking about like streaming.
Yeah, I mean, and in terms of streaming, like, do I think it's better or worse? I don't know.
Because I feel kind of.
I know I tend to. I like, to the degree that I want something with like, I'm not. I guess it depends. Right. I mean, Castle was a procedural, so procedurals are by their nature something that you can do on the regular, and the formula, you just do the formula.
Yeah.
Is that what I generally look for? It could be that I'm looking for a more intensive formula, if you see what I mean. Like if you think about more, right? Like the Morse mysteries have a formula, but I mean, but they don't just churn them out. Like it's each episode is and towards their later period, I mean, they were basically churning out what in the U.S. system they would have called a movie of the week, which is to say, it was a feature length offering, maybe just for televised broadcasting purposes, split into 2. But it was, the format was, they were doing essentially a feature film,
right,
and a series of them.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it from a perspective of the creativity part, where, like, I always think of shows from Europe but more specifically the BBC, the number of episodes per season range from 3 to 10, maybe 12 in a rare situation. And I think that the reason that those shows are quote unquote better is because the writers have a restriction. They know that the story they want to tell only has X number of episodes. And if you think of broadcast TV in North America, they range between 18 to 26 episodes. So they're actually coming up with filler. Now, granted, procedurals tend to have they have the ability to do that kind of stuff without much of an effort because
I think I just topped my last offering. Just let me just note.
Okay, go ahead.
Castle, very good. But though there was something afterwards that may have topped that, and I think it might have been the Blacklist.
Oh yeah,
yes, the Blacklist. Now, granted, the Blacklist, which I'm in the 10th season, I think, right now. I might watch an episode every, I don't know, 1, maybe 2 every few months, kind of thing. But because it was an Allison Shane show, like we watched it together, and that was a thing. So,
was the Blacklist before Castle?
No, well, no,
it had an overlap. By a season.
There's an overlap for sure, yeah.
But like Allie and I watched Castle up until the 7th season, the beginning, whatever season it was, where Castle's character vanished for a long time and lived on a beach by himself, which I think might have been
Castle
season 6.
Before The Rookie or after?
Yes, it was before The Rookie. Castle was basically between The Rookie and, in my mind, Firefly. I'm sure he did other stuff as well, but essentially it ran for 8 seasons, I think. It's a decent show. I mean, again, this is the thing. I like Blue Bloods because it's a show that's been on for 500 years, and Allison and I started watching it a number of years back. So I've slowly been watching that a little bit again. But the thing is, my point is that there's been a several year gap between my watching those shows, those police procedurals, or as Allie and I called them, stupid cop shows. So we even called Castle a stupid cop show just because there were cops in it. So, but the thing is I, for obvious reasons, I stepped away from watching anything pretty much for a few years, or at least the last couple of years. But I've gone back in more recent months to check out a few of them again to see if I actually would bother to continue. But I picked up where I left off. I was able to continue. I roughly knew who people were. I knew what was going on. And at the end of the day, that's the brilliant part about procedural stuff. Like, I could pick up season 22 of Law and Order and I might enjoy it. Where there's not a lot of effort that you need to make because you know what it is, 40 to 44 minutes to 46 on the outside. And you know that they're going to solve a crime in that allotment of time. So
that's what I kind of miss about broadcast TV. It's like you could watch an episode, and if you miss 2, you could pick it up 3 episodes later and not miss a beat.
Exactly. And you'll be reminded several times of like what happened 2 episodes ago.
Sure.
Joe decided to divorce Larry.
Today, especially with streaming stuff, you gotta watch every single episode. Otherwise, you're gonna miss key plot points. It's just a lot of time.
Exactly. I mean, it's like the show Sherlock. I've watched that series, I think, twice, and on the second run through, which I did just last year, I had to pay attention. Like, there were things going on in that show that you if you didn't watch the previous episode, you kind of missed out. So, but compared to another show that Allie and I watched called Elementary, which is Sherlock Holmes and Lucy Liu plays Watson. And in that particular adaptation, Holmes is a recovering heroin addict and this kind of stuff because he took heroin to make his mind work the way it works. So that show, you could literally watch it and then skip a few episodes and you wouldn't miss a whole lot. Same thing as a police procedural, where Sherlock missed an episode, something important didn't happen. Because that, I think actually Sherlock was like 8 episodes per season. So there was, again, you had that condensed writing style that you want to make sure.
Well, okay. So here's a show that spans both of these models.
Okay.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but Dexter, like original Dexter.
And you mention that.
Any of the new series that have come out in the last 3 or 4 years, which have been kind of maybe an 8 to 10 episode thing that sort of stands on its own.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because I just went back and started watching season. What season is it? 5, I think. It was one of those shows that we watched forever, and then there was a lag in their release time, and then we just kind of stopped watching. But it's the one with Colin Hanks and Adama from Battlestar Galactica, the 2003 reboot. It's like 2 dudes that are doing the killing. So I had watched, because we were loyal watchers of that show back in the day. Picking up at season 5 was actually not that difficult. I knew that the Colin Hanks as an actor was the villain or one of the villains, and that almost, what's his name? George doesn't matter. Anyway, these 2 actors, knew them well, saw them in other stuff, and now I was able to pick it up and go, okay, yes. They've mentioned something very quickly that reminded me what happened in the previous season. I didn't have to watch a recap. I didn't have to, I just knew right away that that's what had happened. And so I don't know if I could do that with a 26 episode season. If I'd missed it. So whether, I'm assuming that's because of the length, like X number of episodes versus the writing. And I think, and
we as a society have maybe moved beyond that.
Well, honestly, I think that we as a society, or at least individuals who watch pop culture content, like I'm still working through, I think, the 4th season of Discovery, which I'd never watched, and watched, I think, the first couple seasons. Then I got distracted by fireflies or farts or something, and I came back to it. But Star Trek, I had to actually go back and go, I need to watch a recap because I don't remember what happened in the previous season. And then suddenly I'm like, what, they're 900 years in the future? What the fuck is going on? And I actually had to look up. Like, I'm like Googling, what the hell is going on? Because I'd missed, when I'd watched the previous season, I missed like the last 3 episodes. So in my mind, years later, like 4 or 5 years later, I'm like, oh, right, there was that Red Angel thing. What the hell was that about again?
Right.
And then suddenly I'm like, oh, shit. So now suddenly they've bounced. So I had to go back and watch 4 episodes of the previous season just to make sure I knew what was going on. And to me, that's actually really good writing. And that's the thing, is that I hadn't paid attention and I was punished for it. But I could easily have had a 16-month fart and gone back and watched an episode of I'm going to pick on Law and Order, but I could also pick on CSI or one of those shows that were on forever, which I just realized are not on anymore. CSI is a dead project. Yeah, it's been dead since 2016.
Not my type of TV anyway, but
it's a police procedural. But the thing is that I would never have remembered anything. The only reason I remember anything about CSI specifically is because what's his face? The stoner from Dazed and Confused was on that show for a while.
Rory Cochrane.
Rory Cochrane. He was a dude who eventually shot himself in the face or something. Anyway, but my point being again is that the writing is really, if it is dense and written well, then it's easy for you to, or sorry, it's not as easy for you to go back and actually watch. And I'm gonna tell you about a show that I loved. The only reason I watched it was because the film with John Cusack, where he's the record store owner, High Fidelity.
Yeah.
The actress who played his girlfriend, the one who was a lawyer, I think, if I remember correctly. She is from. No. She's an actress from. She Dutch? I can't remember. Anyway, it doesn't matter. She's from Europe, and I noticed her on a poster for a show called Dict, DICT, I think, and it's of course in her native language. It's very much a European show, but she plays a reporter who goes to like crime scenes to report on what's going on, murders in the town or whatever. But the thing is that again, it's one of those shows that's only got X number of episodes, and it came back. Oh, why you're smiling? 'Cause I'm ignoring the chat. Yeah, exactly. I don't have a problem with that. Don't forget, there's going to be pie very shortly.
Pie.
So, okay. I'm gonna. Anyway, go watch Deked. It's very good. And also watch The Bridge, which is a Swedish show about.
Now, I had a recommendation passed to me from somebody who doesn't normally recommend television. I think it's in North America. It's being streamed as The Bureau, but in French it's Le Bureau des Légions, and it's apparently a spy show.
The Bureau TV series, 20 times 1 hour. What the hell does that mean? 5 seasons. It's been it's French. It's from France. Okay, cool. I'm gonna put this on my list. This actually reminds me of Spooks, which became titled something else. MI5, I think.
Locke, a few months ago, I recommended a movie to you. I want to know if you watched it.
Oh, what was the movie?
It was Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Let me jot that down. Make sure
It's on Netflix.
What the hell?
Now, I remember you mentioning that. What was it about again?
Well, it's a film adaptation of a graphic novel.
Okay. All right.
But basically, the main character, Scott Pilgrim, gets a girlfriend and has to defeat her 7 evil exes in order to be able to court her.
Oh. Because there's only one other person that's ever recommended this film to me. Although it's a film, not a television series?
It's a film. Well, actually, okay, so it's a film. And then there is an animated TV series that came out last year, which is on Netflix.
No, this would have been before last year, so it would have been the film. When did the film come out?
The film is like 10, 15 years old.
Yeah. Shane, do you remember when I attended, I think it may have been the final night of the musical of The Silence of the Lambs?
Yes, I do.
Maybe it was the opening night. I can't remember. It was a preview night. I don't remember. What do you remember? But I did attend, and you were there, and Yes.
Yes, because I actually have photographs of you at that event.
Yeah. Right. Now, at that event, one of the people working the event was a chick that sort of seemed a little bit cute, and so I was kind of chatting her up. And as I was chatting her up, I'm like, so what kind of movies do you like? And she was like, said exactly Scott Pilgrim versus the World. And I was like, I don't think I've heard of that. And she was like, you should have. And I was like, okay, all right. What, tell me what it's about. And she basically said pretty much that it was
there you are.
a kick-ass awesome thing. So yeah, so it didn't get anywhere with her, but she did recommend that film.
It's a good film. It's very stylistic. It's done by Edgar Wright, who did like Baby Driver. If you haven't seen that, see it. It's a
Baby
good one.
Driver.
I do recommend Baby Driver. It was different. It was amusing. It was really good.
Okay. He has a very unique style.
Okay.
He directed Shaun of the Dead.
The music in it.
He did
Scott
Shaun of the
Pilgrim
Dead?
is in a band, and the music in the band in the film is done by Beck.
He's the Shaun of the Dead. He did The World's End, which was the final part of that trilogy. But he's basically the writing partner for what's his name? Oh my god. The lead in Shaun of the Dead. My brain.
The guy who plays Sean.
Simon Pegg. He's basically the writing partner with Simon Pegg. So they've done a lot of stuff together.
Huh.
But yeah, I agree. I fully support what Alan was saying about that.
It's a great film. Very entertaining.
Okay, I will check out.
And the music in it is good too. In my opinion. But I like Supertramp too. So.
Something I just to go back very briefly to Ghosts of Mars. I just realized I've never watched Vampires either.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
I know it exists. I have seen trailers for it, but I don't think I've ever watched it. So that's something that I might have to check out as well.
Yeah. Vampires. It's not like it's John Carpenter doing vampires. It's not like a normal vampire movie,
right?
Well, John Carpenter is still around, and he is 77 years old, and I'm sure he is doing something cool.
He's making lots of
money.
Is he still doing the whole traveling touring thing?
He may have been doing so recently. I think he was just in Calgary, but he's also recording music and performing it again. I hope we get another film out of him. I don't know if we will. He did a movie, or not a movie. His last.
If Mel Brooks is making a movie at 99.
His last thing was a TV.
Yeah, exactly.
His last thing was
I didn't realize. I did. Sorry to interrupt. I just looked up his filmography here.
Yeah.
I did not realize that he had done the soundtracks for Halloween, Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends.
Yeah.
I had no idea that. Like, I knew that he wasn't involved as writing it because it was a brand new group of people doing it, but he was still doing the soundtrack stuff. That's kind of amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool.
I think the most amazing thing to me, soundtrack-wise, is the fact that The Thing was actually done by Ennio Morricone, but in John Carpenter's style.
Okay, that's cool too. That's actually way cooler. Isn't he? I hope he's still touring. I would still like to see him live. That would be amazing.
I had an opportunity to drive down and catch him in San Francisco in 2016, and I was in the middle of law school, so I didn't.
You never know. He might still be doing it, because I'm looking at his list here, and he's released albums of the music that he's been doing live. So refers to it as Lost Themes.
Yeah, that's right.
I believe so.
Yeah, so this is soundtrack music for films that don't exist yet.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. All right, boys and girls. It's time for, we've been actually going for 90 minutes today, which is highly unusual for us, which is, we're usually old and we fall apart after 45 minutes. But I'm glad we did.
It's because I'm woozy by drinking beer. I'm drinking gin.
That's true. He's drinking gin. So we'll see you all next week. Don't forget to tune in. Don't forget also to do all those things where you click on likes and subscribes and all that kind of stuff. We just do this for fun, and we enjoy doing it. So I just saw someone else come into the viewing chamber, and sadly we're leaving. So we hope you come back next time. But we'll see you all next week. Thank you so much for watching, and again, tell everyone about it, what we do here, and then we'll, I don't know, get naked on our
Shane will.
Next. I will.
Maybe Locke will.
Yeah, I'm in. All right, everyone. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.